First thing first, missed y'all last night. Some wild AF-ish happening to me, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm still shook. This video I'm sharing is from 1969, no cap, and I'm trying to make sure it doesn't disappear for another 50 years, and also trying to help the old head in it. Lots of pieces of my family falling into place, and I low-key gotta be careful about how much I say, but my whole world just exploded. And now I gotta get on my main character tip to figure it out. So I'ma be gone for a bit. Don't know how long, so you folks stay ready till I get back. I'm Alice, tumbling down the rabbit hole. Peace.
Hello, my fellow revolutionaries. My name is Julio Benson, and you are watching Revolt on WNET, the show that talks to radicals, revolutionaries, and raving madmen. Joining me today is a mysterious figure of sorts who has gained some infamy in circles of the Black American nationalist underground and arts movements. His name is Doc, and he claims, with all seriousness, to be a time traveler. Is he a radical, a revolutionary, or a raving madman? I'll let you decide. Pleasure to meet you, Doc. Thank you for joining us today. So, Doc, did I get your story wrong? Say anything too fantastical? Really? Fascinating. Well, I'm very pleased to be interviewing you today. You, I must say, are an extremely difficult man to pin down.
Here I am.
We have a mutual friend, the talented poet and musician, Mr. Gil Scott Heron. When I first asked him to tell me about you, he just walked away. I was desperate to find out more. I'm sorry, are we on the clock?
Well, point of fact, we are. We have 20 minutes left, and I must impress upon you that time is of the essence. Please, ask me your questions, Mr. Benson.
Well, finally, after days of trying to track you down, Gil surprised me by telling me you requested me to interview you. I'm curious as to why that is.
Simply put, I've become familiar with you and your work. You were the logical choice for this endeavor, Mr. Benson.
You have, really. Fascinating. Just so I'm clear on this, you only wish to be referred to as Doc, correct? Is that a nickname, an honorific, a job title?
It is.
Okay. So, let's deal with the elephant in the room. You're a time traveler. That's a bold claim. If I'm being honest, some of my viewers may feel like you belong in a rubber room.
The truth of the thing is, some of your viewers may think worse than that, Mr. Benson. I've grown quite accustomed to those on the outside insisting I am someone or something other than who I am. In any such case, it is what it is. I am who I am.
Does that bother you?
My focus of concern is an audience of one. For them, I wish to use this opportunity to bare my soul, confess my many sins, and prove myself to them. Only their judgment of me is important. I have no time to indulge your or your audience's accusations of skepticism that I'm somehow unwell. I deal in truth, Mr. Benson. Lies take too much time. Time I do not have.
A time traveler who doesn't have time. A contradiction, no.
Time traveler or no, you won't find a black man in this country who isn't pressed for time. Time for the Negro in the United States is a precious commodity. It always has been, and I am sad to report, it always will be. Nothing angers me more than the way time is given to us by your courts and your prisons, but that time isn't a gift. It's a purgatory of decay, and our lives are snuffed out by reactionary terrorists who see us as threats and beasts because our humanity isn't given time and consideration. and the loved ones left in the wake of such tragedy and terror only wish they had more time with those who are no longer here. We ask and plead with the white man to give us time to heal and repair. We ask, we beg the white man to help fulfill and manifest the promise of equality written in this country's Constitution, but it never comes. We are told instead, in due time. No. I decided to take back that which the white man had no claim to in the first place, my time. And all I have learned in my excursions through it is that my black ass has none left.
I can see why our mutual friend, Gil Scott Heron, is so impressed by you. You both share the same anger.
And you don't share our anger?
Well, I practice law in the Bronx, so I've learned to never let my anger get the best of me.
Do you think our anger is an impediment to black consciousness and progress?
Well, this interview isn't about me, it's about you.
Well, so interview me then.
I am. I'm doing my job. I'm trying to give John Q. Public here an idea of who you are.
No, it seems to me, of course, you're trying to define me in a context that makes you comfortable. Set the standard of conversation into what you believe is objective, rational, and right. Let me assure you, Mr. Benson, the sooner you come to understand that everything you believe to be conventional reality is indeed perfidious, you can start asking me questions that matter for the 17 minutes we have left. Remove your ego from the task.
I didn't realize I was going to be getting therapy in this interview today. Are you some kind of therapist?
Among other things. I need not rely on that to analyze you. I know you quite well.
You know me?
Mm-hmm.
Really? How so?
I chose you for this interview for a multitude of reasons, but the primary of which is that you are quite well known in the future. So when this is seen by those who need to see it, they will know that this conversation happened and that I am not a liar.
Are you saying that I'm going to be famous in the future?
You are a very ambitious man, Mr. Benson, yes. You will be a known figure.
Well, you certainly made my day with that news. Gil called you, and I quote, "You are a heavy, black, cosmic, time-traveling prophet." Is this true? Are you a prophet or some kind of black messiah?
I simply report back what I see, and I've seen. When I tell others my experiences, they simply believe me.
Your experiences of being a time traveler?
Correct.
Is that all you're doing, sharing your experiences?
No, not always.
What else do you share with them?
My knowledge. My training.
Your training as a therapist?
No, the training I received from the United States government.
Are you saying the government trained you to be a therapist?
No, they trained me to be a killer.
I'm sorry.
But I believed it was more important to share my knowledge into the applications of mental telepathy and astral projection.
Okay. You had me going there.
I assure you I'm telling you the truth.
Okay. I want to believe you, but I need proof.
What kind of proof do you want?
Proof that you're a time traveler. Show us your time machine, a ray gun, something. What is this?
That is a cordless mobile telephone. 50 years in our future, everyone will have one of that type.
How? It doesn't have any buttons.
You touch it. Go ahead.
Oh my God. These are photos in color.
It's also a camera and a handheld computer and a television set and a radio and a record player and a newspaper, all in one. A device that connects the owner to the whole world in an instant.
Incredible.
That's one word for it. I'm of the belief that that device you're holding has potential for both immense good and unrepairable catastrophe.
This is you in this photo. Who is that you're with and why is she dressed like that?
That is my great-grandchild. The audience of one I was telling you about earlier, and that is their property you were holding. They are the reason this entire interview is happening, to convince them that I am who I told them I was.
What them? I thought you said you were making this for an audience of one?
My great-grandchild, whose name you will not know, is watching this interview right now, 50 years in our future. They do not use gendered pronouns like you or I, for reasons that are both acceptable to them and myself. Simply accept this new information like you have with that device you're holding and move on.
What is that? What is that?
I hope this proof was satisfactory to you.
I don't understand.
Forgive me, I was speaking to my great-grandchild, to whom I wish to apologize for stealing your property. I promise you will get your phone back, and I hope we can meet again, and you'll talk, and that you'll help me.
Help you with what?
Help me save the world, Mr. Benson.
Save it? From what?
Do you like the cinema, Mr. Benson?
What?
Do you like the cinema, Mr. Benson?
Yeah, who doesn't?
Tell me of the last film you saw.
My girlfriend and I saw a Paul Mazursky film in the West Village. What was it called? Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice.
The comedic drama about infidelity and foursomes.
Yes, but I don't understand what that has to do with this interview.
Your girlfriend, Debbie, isn't it? She didn't wish to see this film. She wanted to see The Illustrated Man instead.
How could you possibly know that?
You refused her choice in film. You told her taste in film was juvenile and uncultured. You hurt her feelings. This is why she never shares with you the novel she's working on, because you believe science fiction to be beneath you, Mr. Benson.
Stop it. Right now.
But the real reason you refused her choice in film was because you wish for Debbie to be more sexually adventurous. This is why you exposed her to the risque nature of the film. You want her to be more like your other girlfriend, Martha.
Okay. That's enough. I don't know how you know this. What are you, spying on me? What the hell is this? Some kind of sick prank?
Let me explain. My great-grandchild simply adores science fiction films. In fact, many do in their time.
Pardon me, but what the hell does that have to do with my private life?
You attempted to selfishly use a film to manipulate Debbie for your own benefit. Those I stand against use these same dark methods to control entire populations.
What are you talking about? Subliminal messaging to get people to experiment more sexually?
No, sex is natural, human. Those I stand against use film to make people do unnatural things.
I don't follow.
All films are propaganda of some kind, designed to influence the viewer. And all films, no matter how fantastical, have a basis in truth. In fact, many of the science fiction films of the last half of the 20th century are not just based in fact, but in fact, based on my life.
Last half of the 20th century, based on you?
Yes. This dissemination of truth in fiction is done for a myriad of reasons, but the primary of which is to do what you attempted to do with Debbie, to influence behavior and action, to control her.
I didn't try
You
to
did.
control.
We deal in truth, Mr. Benson. Lies take too much time, even the lies we tell ourselves. Let me tell you a story. It's the story of a small Negro child with a stutter. This child is picked on by the other kids in his neighborhood because he is strange and quiet. Neglected by his parents because they spend all their time slaving away for others, saying yes sir and no sir, so much so that they have nothing left for their child when they return home. They are empty. The teachers at this poor Negro child school think he is stupid because he stutters. And they become false prophets telling him he'll amount to nothing in his life. But then, one day something miraculous happens. This child decides, wills himself into a completely different story. Through sheer will, this child breaks every barrier of low expectations set against him.
Great story. The kid stuck up for himself.
But at a cost. This isn't the story of a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. This is the story of a sheep becoming a wolf, of a naive Negro child who believes if he sacrificed his soul and identity and worked 10 times as hard to prove himself to a country that thought of him as worthless, he would break the spell.
I assume this story is about yourself.
You catch on quick, Mr. Benson.
Did you? Did you break the spell?
No. I strengthened it. I was a fool playing a fool's game, but I played it very well. So well, after the war, they approached me.
Who's this they? A different they than your great-grandchild?
Yes, let's call them the Masters.
Who are these Masters?
They are the power behind the power. A secret government organization.
Oh, I see.
They were impressed by me. They approached me, called me a credit to my race. And as a credit to my race, they used me to spy on my own communities, report back any subversive activity. Being a fool of great talent and great ambition, I did this. Soon after, other assignments came. More involved, darker assignments.
Doing what exactly?
Sabotage, gaslighting, psychological warfare, assassination. And being a talented fool, this too did I excel. I needed to prove that I was the best, even if that meant I had to cannibalize my sense of self, my culture, my history, my family. So, years later, after getting my hands dirty, I was in a small clandestine organization that knew things, really knew things, secret, terrible things.
This is all like some dime store novel or an episode of The Twilight Zone.
That show was too smart and too popular for its own good. It had to be dealt with.
Are you saying you and these Masters canceled The Twilight Zone?
Yes, the controlling of mass entertainment is a major priority for the Masters. Rod wouldn't let us, near his show. And so whatever we cannot control or destroy, simply maneuver around, have it removed. We did the same thing with the Star Trek television show.
Star Trek is canceled.
It will be in June. But fret not, years from now it'll come back even more popular than ever.
Okay. Say I believe you. How powerful are these Masters if they let that happen? You make them sound scary and all-powerful.
They are not all-powerful. If they were, I'd be dead. Things slip through the cracks, catch on with the public. They are shrewd, persistent, and adapt very quickly. Whatever they cannot control, co-opt, or destroy, then they simply muddy the waters. It's long enough so if I say to you, hey fella, you're drinking mud. You've been fooled for so long, you don't even remember what it is to drink clean water.
Yeah, you lost me again.
In Great Britain, there's a science fiction television show called Doctor Who, about an old man who steals a time machine. He travels through time in this machine, solving mysteries and fighting monsters. I bring it up because, believe it or not, 50 years from now, this show is still on the air, and my great-grandchild simply adores this show.
This show that you're referring to, are you saying that that's controlled by these same Masters?
Only a little. See, it's still an artistic endeavor for those working on it, but all the masters need do is suggest or incept an idea and call it fiction. So, when someone actually steals a time machine and actually fights monsters, they can point to that person and call them a kook and a liar who has watched too much science fiction on the television.
Are you the old man who stole the time machine?
I'm middle-aged, actually.
How did you steal a time machine?
I did my job very well. They were so pleased with me. I was one of the good ones. I was their boy, the great spook, undercover Tom, the house slave who did whatever dirty, rotten thing his masters asked him to. And it was this that made me the invisible nigger they never saw coming. So one day I saw my opportunity and I took my time back.
You stole their time machine. Did you steal anything else?
We come back to the secret terrible things I was telling you about, Mr. Benson. In my time with the masters, I saw things I didn't believe with my own eyes. But they were real. And then it became my job to make sure that these things remained in the sphere of science fiction and gossip.
Things like time machines.
That's just the tip of the iceberg, but yes, it was my job to make sure that they all remained secret from the public with extreme prejudice. So when it came to intimidating or disappearing those who saw too much and refused to remain quiet, I was their best, most committed soldier until one day I simply wasn't. 30 years from now, they mock me with a science fiction film called Men in Black about a secret clandestine organization that keeps the world safe from alien monsters. But this is a distortion of truth. The Men in Black are not heroes. We are the monsters.
Muddying the waters?
You're getting it. See, they think of the mass public as birds in a cage, and they cover that cage with a curtain to keep the birds asleep and docile. Most in the cage know something more lies past it, but most choose not to peer through the curtain. Most choose to remain asleep and never spread their wings and know what it is to fly. I am trying to remove the curtain, rattle the cage, and wake the birds, but these masters want that cage intact. They are evil men, aligned with incredibly dark forces, and if they are not stopped, everything ends. I've seen it.
The end of the world?
We have 5 minutes left.
Until the end of the world?
No. The end of the world does not happen in 5 minutes, but yes, I've seen it. I traveled to the future, a future still in my great-grandchild's lifetime, and I saw it. I saw the end. And worst of all, I saw my hand in it. It changed things for me. I dedicated my life to stopping the horror of that future, and I am sad to report, after an exhausting Sisyphean effort, I find myself here with you as a last resort.
When does it happen? How? If you have a time machine, why don't you prevent it?
I am not the only one with a time machine, and if you were listening, you would understand I am something of a fugitive. They have been hunting me for quite some time now. Game of cat and mouse that for the moment I've been able to stay a step ahead of.
If you're a step ahead, why don't you stop them?
I've tried. For every one correction I make, they create 3 or 4 more catastrophes. They assassinate leaders, malign and disenfranchise truth-tellers. They erase whole histories, enact massive genocides. I am on the losing side of a war I helped create, all because I was ambitious and aligned myself with them. This interview is my message in a bottle. My last hope.
To your great-grandchild?
Yes. I can't fix this. Not without your help. You don't know this, but you are very special. You can stop the masters. You can save the future. But if you help me, you're going to have to make some very difficult choices, hard sacrifices. You're going to have to prepare. Study this list of films. Each one contain a key of knowledge that will guide you. Each of these films and you hold the key.
I want to help you and your great-grandchild. Can I help you? Do I help you?
I'm afraid I've told you too much already, Mr. Benson. Far too much. All I can tell you is that you and I are very much alike.
I don't understand any of this.
We've come to the end, Julio. We're out of time. I have to collect my things and leave.
We can't be done. I still have questions. Questions about my future.
And never stop asking them, Julio. Never let them tell you who you are. Now I have to make you forget this entire conversation happened.
What? How are you going to make me forget?
Mind trick of sorts.
How's it work?
Why? It's not like you're going to believe anything I've told you for this entire interview. In fact, you realize you've wasted film, time, and money interviewing a certified nut job, and you're going to wash your hands of this whole affair. And you and your camera crew are going to give me the footage in those cameras. And then, Julio, you are going to apologize to Debbie. Take her out to a nice lunch and a viewing of The Illustrated Man. My treat. And then this whole conversation will seem like a silly dream.
You expect us to just give you the film out of our cameras? It's our property. You can't have it. You agreed to this interview and we're going to air it.
You and your camera crew are going to give me the footage in those cameras. And I'm going to put it in a place where my great-grandchild can find it 50 years from now.
You are quite the storyteller. But I'm afraid we can't use any of this. Sorry. Oh, this is a bad idea. Ooh, starving. Still early enough. I could probably call Debbie, see if she wants to grab lunch somewhere. Maybe see that dumb film she wants to see. Thank you for your time. I am sorry, I forgot your name.
Doc.
Doc.
Call me Doc. Everyone does.
Okay.
Say, you think I can take a look at those cameras?
I don't see why not. Yeah, we can dig it.
Thank you, Julio.